Hey everybody, my name is Amin and I came to you with a updated video on what's going on my business, my life, and everything in between. So I usually make these kind of videos once a quarter or once at least half a year or in 6 months. So just to catch you up on speed, the last video was about me sharing the mission, vision, and who I help with my company brand Orchestrate. But things has changed to the better, I would say, and I've learned new skills. I've got better and more aligned with my positioning and my personal brand, and my niche focus has shifted to a better way. So that's the best way I can define it. So on this video, it's going to be a bit long video. I am assuming 5 minutes-ish at best. And I'm just gonna cover some of the lessons I learned from the last couple of months of trying to run my brand orchestrate business, some interests and skills that I've gained in the last period of time, and then some work-life integrations on how I'm willing to move forward. So stay tuned. I'm gonna get right into this video, no editing, no editor, no time to do that. So it's going to be full raw, full unfiltered. If I misspell something or if I say something weird, please bear with me. I'm doing my best here. So anyways, some of the lessons from the couple of months that I've tried to implement in my business, which is to run a cohort or a personal brand coaching cohort, where I help creator educators online who are trying to monetize their personal brands, reach a specific goal or specific outcome. I did that with a couple of clients and it went well. I learned a lot, although it wasn't quote unquote a success experience because I didn't help them achieve the outcome that I promised. But then I went and I over delivered after the cohort ended because I wanted to really help them get what they signed up to. So that's what happened for that cohort. Then I learned from my mistakes. I tried to do another cohort, but that one was a flop. I didn't get any signups for it, and that was because I charged 10x more for the value, but I didn't do 10x more of the effort and 10x more of the research and 10x more of the marketing and all of that. So I learned my lesson. I don't think I'm ready yet to do like group cohorts, so I better just get my skills and my coaching skills sharpened more. And that's why I joined the Top Coach Community by Zach Swire. So if you haven't checked that out, please do check him on Twitter. He's mainly active there. Very, very cool community. And I'm learning so much as a coach or as a personal branding coach, just from interacting with those people and the materials that they share and the weekly office meetings, if you can call it that. Just talking to Zach is very life-changing. Anyways, I will add all the links to this call like in the post or in the socials or whatever, so don't worry about that. So anyways, I learned that or I'm still learning that. And another thing is my Ikigai, or the Japanese definition of the one center interest of your focus, or in other words, your living purpose that you could use for your business and your life that you're also passionate about. So what's the whole deal about Ikigai or Ikigai? It is 4 elements, the intersection of 4 elements: what you're good at, what you want to be paid for, what does the world need, and what are you very passionate about. So the intersection of those 4 is the thing that you can monetize, that you can run a business from. And for me, it took me a while to understand this, but it is writing. And I feel very natural and very gifted at writing. I think that's one of my unique capabilities, or my unique abilities as a human being. I really like get into the skin of the world or the words. I am a wordsmith, or that's my art. My art is wordsmithing. Let's just call it that as a joke. But for real, that's what I want to do. And I think I'm very good at doing that, or at least I'm trying to be better at it, because no one is really, really good. There's always room for improvement. But that's the thing that I want to do. And just from that, I can directly understand why video is not a comfortable format for me yet. I rather feel way more comfortable just writing stuff. Why images or designs or carousels is also not a path for me, because if you've been following for at least 2 years or more, you know that I used to do a lot of brand design. I didn't enjoy it. So writing, I still kept being consistent on doing that for a very, very long time now. So that's something I can claim or own as a thing that I want to purchase or go for. So that's my Ikigai. That's what I want to do. Now, how am I willing to implement this on my business? I'm going to get to that in just a second. So the next part of this video is my interests and skills. The more I grow, the more I learn, the more I found more interest in different areas of life and business. So one of them is personal branding, because that's exactly why am I here talking to you, because I built a personal brand that gave me the permission to do that. Philosophy and the wisdom of life, wordsmithing or words, the art of word, copywriting, ghostwriting, stuff like that. Purpose, the art of finding purpose, because without it, I don't think I would ever accomplish so much. That was something that unlocked so much opportunities for me during this journey. So that's an interest of mine that I want to pass to other people. Coaching is the how I pass that to other people is through a transformational journey of helping people find their purpose. And I'm also trying to do that through workshops, but I'm going to talk about that in a second. So purpose, coaching, the creator economy, strategy, community building, and that's about it, or that's the bigger picture of things. And then there's underneath layers of brains, if you can call it that, because I have an ADHD brain, and you get the idea. I have so many interests. Anyways, how am I supposed to take all of these into smaller strategic buckets? And this what took me so long before I made this video, because I needed to be very, very crystal clear on what I want to do and who I want to do it for, and most importantly, why it matters. So I'm a misfit, and I'm trying to run a business as a professional. So I'm a professional misfit. Although there is a big argument on why the word professional might not be the best word for the job, that's why misfit is there next to it, because it's my way, it's my misfit way, and I can choose to do it the way I like to do it. So why, you might ask, why I want to do this and why it matters is because for me as a misfit, and I believe every misfit out there share the same thing, is that we all want to be accepted for who we are. And that's what a misfit is deeply looking and trying to achieve. Even though it might sound like external validation, but it's also both. It's internal validation to accept our own selves for who we are, and that rejects to the external and gain other people to accept us for who we are. And I think that's what every misfit is striving to do. And I've watched recently this YouTube video from Nathan Berry, the CEO of ConvertKit, and I really love what they are doing. I really love how they are helping creators grow, and how they are really focused on developing and improving the creator economy in general. And one of the things that he mentioned is, or one of his videos on the dark side of a creator economy, or dark side of creating basically in general, is that you always try to be valued for the things that you create. You always try to be valued for the digital product that you put out there. You're only valuable because of X, because of this course, because of that thing. And at some point, it's very hard to live like that. It's very hard to have a burden like that. Sometimes you just want to be valued for who you are, full stop, and end the sentence there. And that's what I'm trying to do and trying to achieve, and why this matters for me, because I am valuable, full stop, and every misfit out there is valuable, full stop. And I'm here to help you see that value, that intrinsic value of yours that you have. And I think the first step through knowing that is your purpose. But that's why I do what I do. Because again, you must, you are who you are, and you are valuable, and you should be accepted, or you are accepted for who you are, despite what other people think and despite what you think about yourself. So that's why I do what I do. Hopefully it makes sense. If it doesn't, I don't care, because it matters for me. Anyways, number 3 for this video is the actual path for my business, or my work-life integration. So I used to say brand orchestrate is everything. So brand orchestrate for me was orchestrating personal brands. Brand orchestrate for me was a community. Brand orchestrate for me was my creative business or my executive leadership business. So I was trying to do so many things with just one thing, with just one name. Well, I could diversify it into multiple things, but then, excuse me, but then there's this big creator advice or this big known advice where if you only focus on one thing, you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, but you're trying to focus on multiple things, things might not work. And I'm not against that advice, but I think it's about time for me to branch out just a little bit so that at the end of the journey, I could go back into the one liner of focus, and it's going to make sense in a second. If it doesn't, at least let me know. So brand orchestrate, from the name, orchestrating world-class branding strategies for executive leaders, fully B2B services to make a living through the skills that I have. Because I struggled as a creator to make a living with my passions and my skills. Really hard to do, still figuring that out. Not a lot of people make it. Some of them do, and they are teaching everyone else. I don't want to be in the section where I'm a cheap follower, really the animal. As a follower, I want to be the creator teaching, but in order to be that, you need some results. You need some skills that are proved in the marketplace, that you made money with, that you helped clients transform their businesses with. And in that, you need action, you need actual plain field skills. And how I'm going to do that through brand orchestrate. Through brand orchestrate. So how, or the what's is pretty much 3 or 4 things, or 3 or 4 services that are all related to one thing. So what is the one thing? What is the name? Brand orchestrate. So it's around orchestrating personal brands. It's still the same idea, but it's for different purposes. So brand orchestrate right now is for, or the services are coaching, ghostwriting, workshops, and personal brand strategy, or strategy in general for personal brands, basically. So strategy could fall into the workshop section. So really, there are just 3 things: coaching, ghostwriting, and training. And that's how I like to see that, because ghostwriting is, I believe, the fastest way for me to make money by providing the fastest way to provide results for the clients, because I know that my writing is so good and I can talk about the niche topic that I like, which is thought leadership. So branding, marketing, personal development, mindset, all of those good stuff. I could talk about that in a very efficient way, and I could show how much an authority a person is if I talk about that topic in my tone or their tone. So it's just a skill. I think I'm already good at it for my own accounts. So now it's that challenge of where I put myself a little bit out of my comfort zone and try to do it to other people. I'm starting with multiple different packages of services of pricing, so that the lowest package is affordable for me to get the skill out there, practice it, and get better at it, for the client to see and get a try on, get to see and test the ocean. And then if they like it, they can upgrade to a bigger package. So that's ghostwriting, thought leadership ghostwriting. That's basically it. Where you can find that, again, the link's in the comments, but it's at brandorchestrate.com/ghostwriting. Now coaching. I'm not so sure it's going to fit or work for leadership executives just yet. I'm not there yet, but I know for sure the way I want to coach is other misfits and other one-on-one online creator educator businesses. So businesses just like mine. So the idea here is I get to get some results and get to make some money through this business, and then I pass that and I teach and I coach other people how to do the same. So that's the service, but basically just getting people to my level. So coaching is people who are at my level or below, usually below, because at my level, you might just want a different perspective, but you might have the same skills. Who knows? Anyways, that's coaching, that's ghostwriting, and then training. And training is the hybrid of the two, where you might want to do things yourself. So you might want to build your personal brand on LinkedIn, and you just need to know the how-tos and all the information needed in order to do that. So workshops is such a cool hybrid there. It works perfectly because it tells you exactly how or what are the strategies on growing a personal brand on LinkedIn, how to use LinkedIn analytics, how to create the creator mode on LinkedIn. So basically all the things that LinkedIn provides in a very personal branding way because of the things that I did, some content strategy here and there, but all of that is packaged into one workshop to help you do it yourself. So that's just one workshop. Another one is finding your purpose. I think I'm really good at helping people do that. So that's something I can offer as a workshop. And that's also low tier because it's not that expensive. You might just want to taste the coaching first, and that's such a good way through doing it through a workshop or through a training. So that's the model for Brand Orchestrate, and that's basically it. No more, no giving back, no free resources, no value, pure payment, pure business, pure helping other clients achieve results. Or the way I want to do it is through this. So hopefully you get clear understanding on Brand Orchestrate. Now, there is the monthly Convert Kit email that I send. I don't know if it's monthly or weekly. I don't really have a schedule just yet, so bear with me. Things are changing a little bit, but this is what it is when you're running a one person and you're at the beginner stage or the first freshman year stage. You cannot really control everything. You try your best. So I'm trying my best here. So there used to be an email where I give some value, like a form of a newsletter, and then if I'm selling something or I'm promoting something, there are some weekly email sequences that promotes usually the thing that I'm selling. That sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. It also is very heavily related to context on who is inside that email sequence. Now everything is going to change. And that's where I want to introduce path 2, which is the Misfit Way. And that's my creator economy version of what I'm building. The free way, or the freedom of living the life I want, doing whatever I want, and making a hell lot of money helping other people. So that's the Misfit Way. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in just a second, but just to make a very clear difference between the two emails. So there is an email newsletter for the Misfit Way. There is an email newsletter for the Brand Orchestrate. The Brand Orchestrate, it's not a newsletter. It's not an educational newsletter. It might just be promotional emails, business-related emails for me, basically just to promote and talk about coaching, ghostwriting, workshops, and strategy. So that's all there is to it. It might include a little bit of updates like this video, for example, about me and what I'm trying to do and the waves and the changes that are happening in the back scenes, but that's about it. Now, here's where things gets fun. So let me just take a cup of coffee. Give me a second. It's hard to make a long video. Anyways, path number 2, Misfit Way. I am really trying to get the domain name misfitway.com. For now, I got misfit-way.com. Almost good, but I'm working on it, people. Domain names are hard. Anyways, so the Misfit Way is where the interests of community building plus personal branding value comes into place. So you cannot give value out there for free when you don't have a lot of experience. We all agree on that. You need some experience to teach it. And if you want to get paid for it, if you want people to really trust you and follow you for it, whether you get paid or not, you need to have some proven results, that you actually know what you're talking about, that you're actually good at what you're talking about. So that's where Brand Orchestrate is for me to learn the skills and get the results and the outcomes and learn the business game, and then teach that and coach my way up to the Misfits through the Misfit Way. So hopefully that makes sense, and the connection between the two. And that's why I told you, after maybe a decade from now, and I'm going to tell you why it's a decade and not the decade and not any other number. After a decade from now, I'm supposedly going to quit the client work side, because the Misfit Way is going to go all the way through of making me a living, doing what I love, and then making some good money, and basically just teaching, which is the goal. So why a decade? Why the Misfit Way? So my goal is to coach 1 million Misfit, the art of purpose and the business of personal branding. It's 2 sections. It's business and it's art. It's purpose and it's branding. Why those 2? And could those 2 change in the future? They might be, but it's the Misfit Way altogether. And why 1 million people? So let's talk about that. I got so inspired by what we call an activism movement. In other words, it's a movement where a shared group of people collaborate and act together to really change the world. I don't like the idea of changing the world by simply just saying, oh, let's just build the next product that will change the world. Then let's just build the next coaching education that could change the world. I'm not here to reinvent coaching. I'm not here to reinvent the world. I'm here to better myself. And I'm here to help you better yourself. And all together, if all together we better our own selves, we get to make a better world. There's no other way. At least that's how I believe it. So why 1 million people? I got so inspired by the idea of a movement that starts with a big number, because how did Germany get to a big creator or a big scalability in their cars market back in the 19s or the 90s? They did it by making 1 million cars. How did the future quote unquote Christo movement starts to be starts to build more momentum and starts to gain the growth by having 1 billion mission, not even 1 million, of helping 1 billion people making a living doing what they love. That's Christo's mission. Nicholas Cole and Dicky Bush, Ship 30 for 30, with their new thing for the Premium Ghostwriting Academy movement. They want to teach 1 million people. It's there in their newsletters, call to actions. There is something about the 1 million movement that even in money, like when you tell people what's a dream number that you want to accomplish, or what's a number that you really want to make from a money perspective, they tell you $1 million. Like that's the bare minimum of dreams when you're dreaming. I know there are some millionaires and billionaires out there who dream even higher, but for me, I think it's scary enough to aim for 1 million, but it's also very achievable. And the hybrid or the balance between the two, that sweet spot in the middle, is exactly why 1 million as a number makes sense to me. It might not make sense to you. You might want to aim higher, or you might even aim way lower. But for me, I think there is something about the 1 million mission that just makes sense. So that's why I want to coach 1 million misfits out there, the art of purpose and the business of personal branding. So why purpose? Why personal branding? You cannot have a personal brand that is purposeless. Your personal brand is supposed to have a purpose. You're supposed to have a purpose as a person. And your brand is supposed to have a purpose as a brand, or at least inherit the purpose from the leader of the brand, which is you. So that's why there is an art to the purpose itself that connects to the business of personal branding. Why the business of personal branding? Because that's what I'm going to teach you, because that's what I'm learning through Brand Orchestrate that I'm going to teach you. That's the value and the skill and the experience that I have. So very realistic, very much, how I'm losing words here, but very much the thing that I think I can deliver. That's how I'm thinking so far. I might be thinking too small, and if I am, please let me know. If I'm thinking too big, then I'm okay with that. So that's the Misfit Way. Now, where is the community aspect? Because as far as, so how is it going to be structured? First of all, the Misfit Way is going to be a newsletter. That's the only way I'm going to track 1 million signups. That's it. Anything that leads to it, any kind of form of marketing or content or value add that leads to a sign up to the newsletter, it's you participating to the movement, is you being part of the 1 million coaching mission of Misfits. So that's the idea. I know it's going to take some time. Why a decade? I did the math. If I can do 100,000 a year of signups, then in 10 years, it's 1 million. Now I'm going to do 100,000 signups a year. So I need 10,000 signups a month. 10,000 signups a month. I cannot do that on my own. I need at least 100 misfits with me who promotes and gets at least 1,000 signups each. That's the math. How I'm going to do it, how I'm going to get them involved, how I'm going to get them into contributing to this mission is through the community building aspect. I'm not going to let just any kind of a misfits any kind of misfits do this. It's going to be a very curated list of misfits, and those are usually called true fans, in the Kevin Kelly words. But for me, they are true loyal misfits, or they are professional misfits. So that's where the professional comes into place, because you're a misfit and everybody can be a misfit, but you're only a misfit if you start being more disciplined and more consistent. And how you do that is by being a professional, is by living through those professional values. So that's why it's a community for professional misfits, and I'm only going to take 100 people on it, 100 true fans. It might be to 1,000, but for now, I'm aiming to 100. Now, there's the Misfit Way. There's the Pro Misfit Club. The Misfit Way is the movement, is the newsletter that you get for free every single week. The Pro Misfit Club is the community, is the Pro Misfit community. And that's where you're going to get that weekly newsletter plus a couple more things to it. So it's not your typical community where people are just going to get into a social platform and you're just going to make posts and just going to interact, and you post this, I comment there. No, that model, I tried it a couple of times. It doesn't work. This has to be a win-win situation. That's number one. It has to teach you something. It has to help you achieve a specific outcome. And for me, from a delivery perspective and a value add perspective, the Misfit Club membership community is going to be words art by a misfit. So it's going to be me behind the scenes sharing like a diary, some form of poetry, maybe some personal private experiences of mine in a paid format. So in an extra additional newsletter, it's also going to be added to a weekly live stream, and I'm going to call that the Misfit Hour, where we jump together and you ask me and I teach you what I know and we learn together. And that's how I'm thinking about this so far. Simple skills, fancy fails, Alex Ramos's words. That's the simple model for now. And it might include a cohort. It might include a 100-day challenge. It might include an interesting couple of ways of me helping you achieve your goals while you contribute into this movement of coaching 1 million misfits. So that's the Misfit Way, and that's the Misfit Way community that is going to be called the Misfit Club. It might be called something else, but it's going to be the Pro Misfit community. Now, the third thing, or the third path in the creator economy of mine, is building a digital product for each journey or each stage of my personal development. So in other words, productizing my skills and my experiences into digital formats. Why I want to do this? Because I can, because it's not that hard to do, because it's scalable, because it doesn't take a lot of time. After you make the thing, or after you produce the thing. So, and also because I am a Notion person. I literally have a second brain on Notion. I have hundreds of Notion pages that could literally be used as workshops, webinars, keynote public speaking, coaching materials. Very, very interesting and very like in-depth and insightful Notion pages that I made. And for some reason, I'm not sharing them. No one is getting benefit from them by just me. And then I'm also not making any profit from that. So I want to productize those. I want to create some kind of digital products, and some of them are going to be free. Some of them are going to be paid. And that's how I can give even more resources to the world and build my personal brand, or my creator economy personal brand. So that's the Misfit Way. That's Brand Orchestrate. That's what I've been spending so much time on for the last couple of months. Now, what to expect next? And let's talk about social media first. So as you can see, or if you've been following me, or wherever you're reading this right now or watching this right now, I have at least like 4 or 5 different medias. So I have LinkedIn, I have Twitter, Instagram, and now Threads, YouTube, and Spotify or podcast. So from LinkedIn, what to expect? So this is where the interests that I shared at the beginning are going to be singularly focused on each different platform, because I don't want the same followers following me on multiple different social platforms, trying and wanting the same things. Like if I'm gonna teach about something or I'm gonna share something on one platform, I don't want to replicate that to a different platform because it's just gonna attract the same audience. If you notice people like Justin Welsh and people like Denko, why do they get the same amount of big number of followers overnight on all different social platforms? Because they are the same followers following them everywhere. Maybe you can call them true fans, maybe not, but I don't want that. I want different followers from different platforms so that in a bulk, I can reach to 1 million misfits from all these different platforms. That's the big idea. Now from LinkedIn, what are you gonna expect? What you're gonna expect? For now, LinkedIn is for making money, is for paying the bills. So I'm gonna share content and learning experiences for B2B executive leaders on personal brand coaching, on my ghostwriting services, on some of the workshops that they do. I might do some free workshops and free webinars here and there because I used to do that model. I like how that model works. It just works for specific types of people or demographic or persona, and maybe just promote a little bit of digital products. But the goal on LinkedIn is to promote brand orchestrate the business. On Twitter, I'm going to talk about community building and the creator economy side of things. So how to be a better creator, how I'm doing it, and technically promote the Misfit Way community. So that's what I'm going to do. On Instagram, is a day in the life of a misfit, which is me. Behind the scenes of me mountain biking, of me playing with my cats, of me doing something random. So if you really just want to get to have fun with me or just get to know me on a personal level, that's what I'm trying to do. On Instagram, I might be slow on that a little bit, so bear with me. But Instagram, one sentence, credits to Damian Clark for this, but it's a personal brand that takes you places. You want to know why? Check my Instagram. Threads. Threads is for rents. Threads is for raw, unfilter me, world-class SaaS, building strong relationships with IG thoughts. I had to say this. So that's Threads. YouTube. The real. YouTube is for now the long form webinars, workshops, and free high value business content. It's very alpha stage. I'm still figuring out YouTube. I don't want to be consistent on it just yet, but that's what I want to do on YouTube for now based on where I am. And then finally, the Spotify or the podcast. So yes, I launched a new podcast called The Misfits Origin. Check that out if you haven't already, but it's unedited, short and long-term or long format conversations with misfits, plus some lessons I learned during the way of my journey, plus me just sending memos to myself, visualization. I cannot say that word. Visualizing my future self as if my future self is talking to me through those memos. Just like Zach Pagrab from the Obsession newsletter vibe, it's kind of like. So that's the podcast idea. So the podcast and the YouTube, a little bit inconsistent there, just until I figure that game out. LinkedIn, very, very active. Instagram, it depends on the mood, on the day, on the bike ride. Twitter, Threads, you're gonna find me a little bit active there, just whatever it's on my mind. And I'm trying my best to add some high value content, but that's what I'm trying to do. That's what to expect next from social media. As what to expect next from the newsletter, I already told you, the Misfit Way. It's going to be 2 sections, purpose and business, or art and business. So the art of purpose and the business of personal branding. So the lessons, the learnings, case studies, stuff like that for you to get better at your job, to get better at delivering results for your own clients. So it's me helping you do your job better for every single Misfit until we reach 1 million. And then the brand orchestrate email is just going to be business promotions, stuff like that. It might be, I'm still figuring that out, but it might be a little bit different based on how I want to do it, because I know that just basic sales emails or promotional long emails are not really high conversions and people really don't like that. It might be promoting business with a twist. I will figure that out, just not yet. So that's all there is to it. I have my notepad right in the corner. I think this is a recap, or this is the summary of the video. I shared a little bit about what I did, the lessons I learned, the interests and the skills that I have, the services, the 2 different paths or 3 different paths, the brand orchestrator, the Misfit Way, and the digital products Notion way. And then what to expect next from my social media. Hopefully now you have a clear understanding on what I do, why I do it, and most importantly, you gain value from this and you get some clarity on your own business model. So this is like literally me sharing my business model in a nutshell on a video as a head-to-head conversation. If you like this kind of format, if you like this kind of video, let me know. Like just say something, because I might just make more video content like this, because this is very simple for me to make. But the moment I start procrastinating about editing and transitions and animation, I just get lazy and I never make a video. So that's it for this one. I'm going to share the links in the comments. Make sure you find your Misfit Way, just like I did, or just follow mine until I teach you how you find yours. And I will see you in traffic. Have a good day.